And speaking of which, now that you're here, let's get right down to business.
Sounds good.
So today, it was a lot of fun, Matt. I couldn't believe we had almost 345 people on the viewing this between the website and here live.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of great feedback, and a lot of people that said they wanted to pop in again today to see what was going on and to see what they could learn. And we really had a lot of questions that developed around motivation
Mm-hmm.
and actually finding the thing that sparks motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, jumping into this, I know for me, it's strange about a person like myself, and this is something where, we touched on it briefly with the scale, right, and weighing yourself and doing stuff
Mm-hmm.
like that. And I know that is a trigger for a lot of people when you start talking about
Mm-hmm.
weight issues, etc. And this is where it's fun as a professional to be able to, like, I enjoy those tough conversations where how do you bring this issue up and explain that honestly your weight, the number on a scale, has zero to do with it, is not a predictor of health.
Right.
However, for a person like me, where science, numbers, and competition are very important, I don't look at the number on my scale and think I'm happy or not, or if it's if it's sitting at 230 pounds, then I'm healthy and happy.
Mm-hmm.
What I do is, if I see that number climbing, I think to myself, it's climbing because I made a change. And now, is that change positive or negative? And how do I work that back? And this time of
Right.
year, for me, the scale sometimes changes because sometimes eggnog finds its way into my life.
Holiday weight.
Yes. But so that, for me, that's something then that my decision making is based. It comes, the weight on the scale gets my brain to say, okay, let's start making some healthy decisions, because what we want is long-term health, and are the things I'm doing contributing to long-term health? So that's me. For my motivation, right, the scale is a part of something I do, but I don't look at it for a number that says, yes, you're healthy because the number on the scale matches the number of the person on Instagram that I follow, et cetera, et cetera. And that's, I think that's the conversation I want to have with people is there are certain populations that really look at numbers, science, et cetera. If you start talking to me about science, you've got my attention. You're going to get me excited if it's a cool new fact. So switch that over. I guess that explains my motivations and how the scale fits into my lifestyle. What about you, Milt? How do you get motivated each day to do this health thing?
Wow. I guess I'm a unicorn somewhat when it comes to being healthy, because or working out, and because and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to put myself on top of anybody or make myself look better, but I don't have to get motivated. It's and I hate to put it in these terms, but a healthy lifestyle and working out, and it's my drug. And if I don't get it, it's my I'm like what, something's missing. So I have to do something as far as working out. As far as my diet goes, I always talk about the the 85-15 or the 90-10, where 85 to 90% of your time you're eating a healthy diet, and that that 10 to 15% are those times where you can get away from it. But as far as working out, it's something that if I miss a day or two, it's like I'm missing something, like I'm missing breathing, like I need some oxygen or something. That's where I am with it, because it's just been so much a part of my life since I can remember, since I started playing sports at a very young age. I was 4 or 5 years old since I started playing sports. And when I really got into training, when I was 12, 13, and it's just been part of my life ever since, where if I don't get it, there's something missing. They always say, you do something for 30 days, it becomes a habit. And that's what I try to tell people. If you can get to the point where you're consistently doing it for 30, 45 days, it becomes part of your life, and you start actually putting time away to make sure you can do some type of physical activity at least 3 or 4 times a day, a week, or whatever. It becomes part of you. And if you're not doing it, you know you're missing out on something. So for me, like I said, I don't want to put myself or pat myself on the back. I don't have to get motivated because it's so much. It's like waking up and having to go to the bathroom or brushing your teeth or putting on your clothes. It is actually part of my everyday life where I have to do something of the physical nature.
And that is fantastic. I'm I am certain that almost all the population has that. They just haven't found the thing that they love so much.
Right.
And
Right.
that's for me. Like I'm with you. If you're talking high intensity intervals, if you're talking, here's a heavy weight.
One quick thing,
Sure.
and I hate to interrupt
Go.
you. And when I talk about what I'm going to do every day, and the good thing about it, I surprise myself. I never know what I'm going to do, and I tell people all don't make out a plan. Surprise yourself. Do something you've never done before. And when you wake up, say, okay, I'm going to think of something different. And that's the way that you make it fun. And I hate to interrupt you. I just wanted to get that little point in there. That's the way you make it fun, by surprising yourself. Not having a set plan every single day or every single week what you're going to do. Actually think of some different. I mean, you can have a set plan somewhat, but some days or some weeks just wake up and say, I'm going to try something different today.
Yeah. And it's funny because I remember you telling me that for the first time, and I thought, the first time I met you, because you're so regimented and disciplined, I thought you would be like, here's my logbook of every workout I've ever had. Here's the weights. Here's how they've gone up 3% every year for the last 25 years. And it shocked me the first time you ever said that it's not a plan every day. So this is something I want people to really take home, is that there are different types of people. Our brains work differently. Some people, if it's not regimented and if it's not planned, then they're going to do nothing, because if it wasn't in the plan, the day escapes. But I think that what you're hitting on that I love is that it's got to be fun, unique, something that challenges the body, because that's where you see the brain get involved. And I think that that's something that sleep, the first time we ever went online, somebody asked us about sleep. It comes up after anytime I meet people in person. Sleep always comes up. And the more that you trigger your brain, the more that you get involved, you're getting excited, you're having fun, the more that happens. So for those of you that are watching, find things you love to do, go for walks, go for hikes, but like Milt said, surprise yourself. Set it so that, hey, I'm going to wake up and just pick a trail in Manitoba. We got hundreds. There is always an adventure waiting just around the corner. But Milt, let's continue on that, because the amount of people that message me to say, hey, could you ask Milt what he does most days for a workout? My inbox was full of messages. Everyone wants to know what you do. I think what you should do is just tease them and then write a book and make $1 million. But let's talk about your programming. What do you do? What do you love?
Well, just like I alluded to, so because I work out so much, I don't know what I'm going to do every day. I know what time I'm going to do it. I know if I'm going to do lifting. I know if I'm going to do running. I know if I'm going to do plyometrics, but exactly in detail what I'm going to do, because I have so many things up my arsenal, I don't know what I'm going to do until I'm actually doing it. So I may go, where I live in my subdivision, I have a bunch of hills. So I may go out and say, okay, I'm going to do some stuff on the hill. So I may go out and I may run the hill. I may jump up the hill. I may do lunges up the hill. I may run backwards up the hill. I may jump rope up the hill. But I don't know what I'm going to do until I get out there. Or I may come down in my basement where I'm lifting now, and I have my weights. I may do some squats. I may do some bench. I may do some whatever it may be. I'm going to do it, and I have that time slot. But exactly detail what I'm going to do, that doesn't exist. I've never written anything down. I don't have anything on a spreadsheet or anything like that. That doesn't exist. Of course, and my plan is, and we're going to talk about this, is to show some of these things I do. But as far as what I'm going to do day in and day out, I have no idea what I'm going to do until I actually get to doing it. And that's just the way I'm programmed. And it works for me. And like you mentioned, it may not work for everyone, but this works for me. This is what I've been doing for years now. And it's been working for me day in and day out. And it's something that I live by every single time I work out.
Yeah, no, and I like it because the fact that the body's guessing, it was like you were saying the other day, there's no adaptation. There's no, you don't get stagnant with it. And
Right,
that's, I
right.
think that that's something that a lot of people um, tend to miss in this conversation is they look for the perfect plan and they forget that consistency and intensity are the two things that most determine
Right,
what changes your body's physique.
right.
And like let's also, I think I want to touch on that too a little bit because vanity absolutely plays into my life. I there are days where I make a decision, and this is a tough conversation to have because it has to be had in the sense of it's not my health at that point. It is something that I enjoy, and
Hmm.
I do make decisions on food and food quantities as well as exercise intensities to ensure that I fit in the jeans I want to and I look a
Right.
certain way. And I think that that's something where that doesn't determine my health. And if someone else in my community does not have those motivations at the same level as I do, then
Hmm.
I'm all for them simply just going for a walk. That's, I think that that's something that I know you and I, like I said, we've got a year plan where we're going to be giving out information, uh, recipes.
Right.
You've got workouts that you love doing that are coming to people and all that. But I think it's creating that community. I struggle when I'm alone. Like this COVID thing, I'm struggling to get the intensity and workout volumes up the way I used to.
Hmm.
And um, it does. It's something where I want to get back to that because I enjoy feeling strong. I enjoy feeling fit.
Right.
Different. That's different than health. That is something that my brain says, "Oh, I'm happy because I could go run 3 or 4 miles, come home, and just continue my day."
Right.
And
Exactly.
and
Not
that
miss a beat. Hmm.
yeah, that's a value
Hmm.
to me. So if let's kind of let's look at that because that I think that is something. I mean, obviously you got what the turtle. That's been or
The
the
turtle.
turtle. Yeah. That's been something that's been put on your that's been put on you a few times.
Right.
What's
Right.
it
Right.
like? What's it like finding that motivation day in and day out to make those decisions?
Yeah, and like you speak of, there's nothing wrong with vanity. I think most people want to be able to look in the mirror and say, "I like what I see." There's nothing wrong with that. And every now and then, in the summertime in Winnipeg, you're walking at the forks, you might want to take off your shirt and show off your shoulders or your arms or something. Or a young lady or a woman might want to wear some type of form-fitting dress. There's nothing being wrong with being motivated by that at all. But you can't be just motivated by that and that's all you motivated by, because you have to be driven also, because motivation only lasts so long. It can get you going, but if you're not driven, that motivation won't last forever. So that's what I talk about, being driven. Of course, being motivated, because that's going to get the engine going. That's going to start it up. It's going to get the gas going. But you have to find something that's going to drive you also. And I don't know if some things that some people rely on, we able to drive them from the long haul, because this is not a 100-meter dash. It's not even a marathon. It's a lifelong run that's going to take a long time for you to obviously get everything through. So I'm all for whatever it takes for you to get going. But if you're not fully driven, if you're not fully behind this, it's going to be hard to continue it.
Yeah. And I'll add this to this because I know the conversation in this world. It's very difficult to have it PC, but no matter again, we talked about the form-fitting dress, and it doesn't matter what body you have, put on the form-fitting dress. It doesn't
No,
matter what
definitely,
body.
definitely.
And I know that Milt and I have had great discussions on this, so we both see the world the same way. It is go get healthy, feel good, talk to your doctor, make sure your cholesterol, make sure your heart rate, make sure your blood pressure's in check. And if those are good, continue what you're doing.
Hmm.
But like you and I are hinting at, for us personally, the motivation to go grab or to go bench press 225 pounds, for me, that comes from I have a desire in my brain to have a certain appearance. That doesn't negate me going out, standing on the beach, no matter how I look. That doesn't, if I meet somebody in public, appearance isn't what matters. Health is what matters. And that's what we're getting
Right.
at here.
Right.
And some driving forces to that. I know that the two of us, vanity is one of those things. I know for me, mind blowing to me, and I know you've been going through this for about 15 years, but kids.
16 years exactly.
Yeah. Kids change the perspective on what healthy is and what you need for health. And
Yes.
that to me, the shock of Betty comes along, and all of a sudden, I remember the first time I said it to my wife of like, I got to watch my heart health. And it was just like, wait,
Yes.
what? that
Yes.
wasn't a thought to me. So it's find the motivation, dig into it. And once you've got it going, like we were saying, just find those things, keep changing it up, and
Exactly.
and just move forward with your health walk. And it's your journey, not somebody else's. So it is very difficult to pick up a book, read a diet, and go stick to that. That's not, we want lifestyles here. So
Exactly.
the next point, and I know we covered it on the last one, but I really enjoyed hearing you, because you've also worked with a lot of people to get them to work in groups to get healthy. How do you get back on track? As you're the unicorn that rarely falls off, but what motivates you to get back to tightening up the ship?
Yeah, and we talked about this last time. The big thing is having other people around you who are gonna hold you accountable, and who's gonna, when you do fall, they're gonna help you up and say, okay, let's get this back together. It's not easy, and I talked about this last time. It's not easy for me, who's, I love working out, but it's not easy doing it by yourself when you have others around you who you can depend on, who you can rely on, who is going to be there for you when things aren't the best, and when things are great, they're going to be there to continue lifting you up. It makes it a lot easier if you can get a group around you. Maybe you're just starting working out, so you find some friends or family members who are also starting to work out. You guys can get each other and pat each other on the back and give each other, high fives. Great job, keep it going. We're going to get up at 6 o'clock, or we're going to do this after work, whenever we're going to do it. It's so much easier when you have others there for you who are doing the same things you're trying to do. There's a saying that this radio host used to say when I was growing up. He was like, if you can't change the people around you, change the people around you. Basically, if the people around you aren't trying to do the same things you're trying to do, you got to get some people around you who are. So when you have people around you who are motivating you, who are trying to do the same things, achieve the same goals you're achieving, it makes it so much easier.
Oh, very well said. Very well said. So
Thank you.
you're going to go to sleep tonight. You're going to wake up tomorrow. What is your day going to start? Like, what is the most important thing to you from a health perspective each day that has to happen?
It's getting rest. I always say that's what it is for me, because I try to be really active and really, optimistic and outgoing during the day. So I have to make sure every single night I get my rest. I'm an early riser, regardless of what time I go to bed. I can go to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to wake up at 5 or 6. So that means I only got like 4 or 5 hours of rest. That's not good. So every night I try to at least get 8 or 9 hours, because I'm going to be going all day long. I wake up, I make sure, and I don't eat anything heavy, but I make sure I put something in me relatively, healthy, as far as some fruit, or maybe I even eat, a healthy peanut butter and jelly sandwich. People say, you can't eat that for breakfast. I'm like, yes, I can. I get some, some all natural peanut butter, some all natural jelly, some all natural bread. And I'll have me a couple of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, some fruit, and some water. Now I'm ready to hit my day. My kids are at home doing school, so get them situated a little bit. It doesn't take much, they're older. And then I try to get me a good workout in right away, whatever it may be. And my doing something with cardio or doing something with lifting that day. I try to get it in as early as I can because it just makes me feel so much better knowing I got that good workout. And I tell people all the time, if you can get it in earlier in the day, it makes it so much easier because otherwise you're just thinking about it. When I'm going to get it in, when I'm going to get in, when I'm getting after work. If you got kids, I got to cook for the kids. I got to do this for the kids. When I'm going to get it in. If you can get it in earlier during the day, it just makes life so much easier.
And how often are you hitting those high intensities? Like, is that a daily thing for you? Like, are you sprinting? Are you?
It's usually I mean for the most part I'll take a day or two off, but
Yeah.
3 or 4 days a week I'm doing high intensity. That's just the way I'm wired now. Because if I don't, I feels like I'm not getting anything out of the workout. It's just because I've been doing it so long. I have to challenge myself. If I'm comfortable, and this is just me speaking, if I'm comfortable, I feel I'm not getting anything out of it. I like to be uncomfortable. I like to be breathing hard, sweating. Every now and then I have to wash and condition my hair afterwards. I've done so much, but I like to get in that uncomfortable place where I'm really challenging myself, and
Yeah.
that's when I'm really feeling I'm getting some good workouts in.
Yeah, I love it.
But
Love it.
the thing I always do though, especially as you get older, you have to allow your body to recover. You can't continue pounding and pounding, and even if you're younger, you have to give your body a chance to recover. Otherwise, it's going to recover by getting an injury or whatever. So I make sure I always give myself a chance to recover.
I love it. Lisa just asked us to keep this G rated, and I was like, I'm thinking we are pretty G rated.
Yeah.
Is like last time. I get to see all the questions that come up, and as we go. So I will say this: if anyone does have questions, always pop them up. But for this one, I think Milt, it's time for us to start wrapping this up. So here is what we are gonna really focus in on. It is both of us are committed to making and helping build a community here in Winnipeg, and I think anyone that's watching right now, what we would love is to really engage the community with education and really be there to get these um, programs for people to motivate and then say, here's what we do, and here's some options with experts in the city of Winnipeg. And we're building that stable of friends up so that we can say, let's get you motivated. Let's focus on those workplaces and get people building that community. So if anyone listening, if you wouldn't mind helping us get the word out, when you see us tweeting, when you see us on Instagram, get that word out. But Milt, give them a few seconds here of just what kind of motivation and exercise they can expect from you coming up in the next. I think we're going to launch right away in January with a New Year's revolution. So what are we looking at?
Well, I'm very unorthodox in my exercise style. I'll have a little something for everyone, regardless of your level, regardless of your workout space. If you're at home, if you're doing something at work, or if you're, wherever you may be, I'll have something for everyone. It is high intensity, but starting off, I recommend that everyone, keep it low and then build up. But my ideal workout is for everyone. It will fit in any space. You could be in the phone booth. I will find a workout for you. If you're at home watching TV in between commercials, I'll have stuff you can do. So there are no excuses not to do the exercise I'm going to show you. As Jordan recommended, or as he talked about, we're just trying to make sure everyone is healthy. And I'm going to provide exercises for every individual, old, young, regardless of your stature, regardless of your shape. I'll have something for everyone to fit in everyone's space.
Yeah, and we're also going to have some yoga instructors coming along too, and going live for us. I've made some good inroads with friends, so we've got everything. We've got the motivation, the years of success with Milt. We've got some good science behind this. We're going to be including some research and researchers from the U of M. So I think Milt, I'll give you some more information on this after I just got the email just before coming on air. But what we're going to be doing is having some of the university researchers join conversations so we can have 3 and 4 squares of this. and it's going to be some old dogs, you and me, learning some new tricks from these researchers as good information comes out. And one of the things for me that I've been really I want to understand better is plant-based eating
Mm,
and protein. And we had, this is the heartbreak of my career to date, was when COVID hit and all the restrictions began. 1 week after that, I was set to participate in a it was called a protein symposium, and it was actually world
wow.
class. It was a world class
Hmm.
event where I was going to get to sit, take notes, and take all that knowledge and translate it so that it could be used by the public from these researchers. And it never
Hmm.
happened. So we've got some of those researchers
Okay.
available to us so that we can pick their brains. So you and I can sit back and say, now we know a little more and we can get a little more healthy. So anyway, the point of the story is that's all coming down the pipe. And ladies and gentlemen, we want to do this to build a community where people can tune in like this, or tune in later, ask questions, um, send us messages, do whatever you got to do. But let's all get healthy, get through this. And then from there, if we've got something going, let's just take it as long as we can, because
Yes.
health is a lifelong thing. Anyway,
Yes.
last words to Milt Stegall. What do you got? What do you got for the people?
Uh, go Winnipeg. Let's go Manitoba. No, I'm just so looking forward to this. This is one of my passions. Like I've always talked about this, the greatest city in the world, Winnipeg, and my passion as far as being healthy coming together. So it's going to be a great marriage. Of course, working with Jordan, which I have in the past, and we have a great relationship. So there's so many things that are coming down the pipe that I'm looking forward to, and I'm really excited about 2021. We'll put 2020 in the past and move on with a great 2021. So let's have some fun.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, and we'll see you all soon.
Take care.